Isn't it incredible that out of nothing, nothing at all, here you are, right now, this moment, so full of mystery, and yet so simple, pulses with life. What once was a blank, a void, has manifested into this experience, this reality you're living. And here's the great paradox. You, a small speck in the vast universe, are both nothing and everything. All at once, think about it. When you were born, you arrived from a place of nothingness. There was no you, yet no self, no image, no history, just pure potential. And yet, that potential was not absent. It was full of life waiting to unfold. The moment you took your first breath, that nothingness began to give shape to the story that is now you. And when your last breath comes, the shape will return to nothing once again. How is it, then, that we can think of ourselves as separate, as independent, as so very important? We are part of something much larger, something that's been unfolding for billions of years. In the grand scheme, there is no such thing as you. You are but a passing wave in the ocean, a flicker of light in the sky. And yet, in that fleeting moment of life, you are the universe itself, expressing its infinite dance. The real question, then, is not who you are, but how you dance with life's rhythm. From the moment of birth, you've been taught that you must strive, struggle, and achieve, that your life, your worth, depends on what you accumulate, how high you climb, and how much you accomplish. But what if you're already complete, just as you are? What if the very nature of life, the universe, the dance does not demand achievement or success? What if your purpose is not to grasp for the future, but to be present in the rhythm of now? What if the point of life isn't to race to the finish line, but to surrender to the dance itself? What if this paradoxical freedom, this paradoxical rhythm, is what it means to truly live? The secret isn't in pushing forward, but in letting go of the illusion of control. When you stop trying so hard to get somewhere, you realize you are already exactly where you need to be. And in that realization, life unfolds naturally. This is the dance of existence, the paradox of being, the profound yet simple truth. Life is not a struggle to be won, but a rhythm to be lived. We've all been there, clutching at life, as if it's slipping away from us, grasping at moments that seem just out of reach. The mind tells us, if I could just control this, if I could just make things go according to plan, then I would be at peace. We live with a deep-rooted belief that control is the key to life. But what if this very attempt to control is the source of our suffering? Consider for a moment the river. It doesn't struggle to flow. It doesn't force its way over rocks or through narrow spaces. It simply moves, allowing the landscape to shape its path. The river doesn't fight the current. It surrenders to it. Yet here we are, humans, constantly trying to direct our lives as if we could bend the very flow of existence to our will. The more we strain, the more we exhaust ourselves, the tighter we grip, the more life slips through our fingers. This is where the illusion of control plays its trick. We believe that without our effort, things will fall apart. We think that if we don't push, if we don't force things to happen, the universe will leave us behind. But the truth is, the more we try to control, the further we distance ourselves from the natural rhythm of life. And in that distance, anxiety, frustration, and exhaustion begin to creep in. Let go for a moment. Stop trying to steer every detail of your life. What happens when you relax your grip, when you stop pushing so hard to make things happen? Something unexpected occurs. Life begins to flow with ease. Opportunities arise without force. Connections form effortlessly. You begin to see that the universe doesn't need your control. It needs your trust. The only thing standing between you and the life you seek is the belief that you must control every outcome, Imagine for a moment, you are no longer the one trying to paddle upstream, fighting against the current. Instead, you gently turn and allow the current to carry you. This is the essence of trust. Trust that life is not here to work against you. It is here to flow with you, to help you grow, to teach you, even in the chaos. Trust that, despite what the mind tells you, everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Even when it seems unclear, in that moment, you realize you are not the one in control. Life is, and when you let go, when you stop forcing, you begin to live as life itself, fully attuned to its rhythm. It dance. That is the power of surrender. It's not about giving up. It's about letting go of the illusion that you can ever control the unfolding of life. Life is not something to manage. It is something to experience. And when you stop trying to steer it, you become part of the flow, moving effortlessly with it. How strange it is that we have been taught to believe that living fully requires doing. We are constantly told that to be someone, to be successful, to be worthy, we must accomplish, aktsumulla, and prove. But what if life's true beauty doesn't lie in the doing, but in the being? What if the essence of living is not found in what we chase, but in what we already are? Think for a moment about a tree. It doesn't strive to grow. It simply is. It doesn't question its place in the world, nor does it worry about how tall it will grow or how much fruit it will bear. It simply exists, in perfect harmony with the rhythms of nature, and in its being, it becomes a living testament to the beauty of existence itself. The birds come, the wind dances through its leaves, the sun pours its light upon it, without the tree needing to do anything but be itself. And yet, how often do we feel like we need to justify our existence? How often do we spend our time striving to prove that we matter, that we are worthy, that we are enough? We forget that we are not separate from the tree, the wind, the stars. We are part of the same rhythm, the same flow, the same universe unfolding in a unique form. We are not separate from life. We are life. And this is where the paradox of being truly lies, when we stop trying to become and simply allow ourselves to be. We align with the rhythm of existence itself. This is the art of being. It is not about inaction or passivity. It is the practice of being present, fully awake, fully engaged in the moment. When we embrace being, we discover that life's most profound gifts arise naturally. Love, peace, joy. They don't come from striving for them. They come when we let go of the need to search for them. They are not rewards we earn, but states of being that already exist within us, waiting to be recognized. Imagine for a moment stepping out of the race you've been running. No more striving, no more doing, just being. The world continues to turn, but you are no longer caught in the whirlwind of time and expectation. You are rooted in the present, aligned with the pulse of life. It is in this moment that you realize something incredible, all that you've been searching for, all that you've been grasping for. It was never far away. It was always here, in the quiet stillness beneath your thoughts, in the deep knowing of your own being, and that is the essence of life's dance. It is not about moving toward a destination, but about moving with the rhythm of now. Each moment is its own, a part of the greater unfolding. When you stop fighting to control it, you begin to move effortlessly within it, just like the river, just like the tree, just like the stars in the sky. Life is a dance, and all you need to do is step into it. We live in a world that tells us that to succeed, we must control, grasp, and hold on tightly. We are taught from a young age that our worth is earned through our ability to exert power, to shape our environment, to fight for what we want. And yet, the more we try to control, the more we find ourselves bound, restricted, exhausted. The paradox is this: it is only in letting go that we find true freedom. Think of a bird. It doesn't grasp at the sky, it simply flies. It doesn't try to force its wings to flap harder, it trusts the wind beneath it, surrendering to the currents that carry it. The bird knows that its freedom lies in its ability to trust the very forces that surround it. It doesn't wrestle with the air, it moves with it, and so it soars, effortlessly, in perfect alignment with the rhythm of the world. We, too, are like that bird. Our natural state is not one of struggle and control, but of flow and trust. But we've been taught to grip tightly to everything: our ambitions, our desire, our fears, even our identities. We believe that in holding on, we secure ourselves. But what we often forget is that by holding on so tightly, we are creating our own chains. We are locking ourselves in a cage of our own making, afraid to let go, afraid that if we do, we will fall. But the truth is this: it is only by letting go that we fall into the arms of life itself. When we stop trying to hold on to the past, to control the future, to grasp of fleeting moments, we begin to experience the freedom of the present. We begin to live in harmony with the flow of existence, no longer fighting against it, but allowing it to guide us. We are no longer the ones trying to control the wind. We are the ones who spread our wings and soar with it. When we release the illusion of control, we open ourselves to something far greater: the trust that life, in all its unpredictability, is unfolding exactly as it should. The moments we think we've lost, the plans that fell apart, the detours and delays, they are not setbacks. They are invitations. Invitations to see that life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be embraced. Let go of the fear. Let go of the need to control. Surrender to the unfolding of your life, knowing that everything, even the seemingly chaotic moments, are part of a greater design. You don't need to manage the current, you simply need to allow it to carry you. The river doesn't resist the rocks, it flows around them. And so too can you, without struggle, without fear, without resistance, moving with the natural rhythm of life, not trying to control it, but participating in it fully. And in that participation, you find your freedom, not in the absence of struggle, but in the acceptance of life as it is. No more chasing, no more grasping, just living. And in this simple living, you discover that everything you ever needed was always with you, waiting for you to stop running long enough to see it. How strange it is that we are always rushing, always waiting, waiting for the right time, waiting for the right circumstances, waiting for the moment when everything will align perfectly, and we can finally say, "Now I am ready." We chase time like a runner in a race, believing that somewhere in the future, beyond the horizon of our plans, lies the life we've always dreamed of. But what if time, as we understand it, is just another illusion? What if the life you've been waiting for is not somewhere ahead, but right here, right now? The mind loves time. It loves to measure, to categorize, to project into the future. It tells us that happiness, peace, and fulfillment will arrive when the clock hits the right hour, when the right event happens, when the right thing is finally achieved. But the truth is, time does not exist in the way we think it does. We imagine it as a straight line, moving forward from the past into the future. But in reality, time is just a stream, a flow that is always moving, always changing, always unfolding. The present is the only moment that is real, the only moment that truly exists. When you step out of the mind's constant chatter about what will come or what has been, you realize something profound. Everything you have ever needed is already here, right now, You don't need to wait for some future moment to be fulfilled. You are already whole. You are already connected to everything, to the universe itself. The only thing keeping you from seeing this is the illusion of time, the belief that you are moving towards something you don't yet have. But life isn't something that happens in the future. It is happening right now. In every breath, in every heartbeat, in every sensation. Life is unfolding before you. There is no later, there is only now. And when you stop living in anticipation, in expectation, in the constant belief that you need to prepare for something more, something better, you begin to experience the truth of your existence. You begin to see that life is not something to be won, something to be achieved, but something to be experienced in each fleeting moment. What happens when you stop waiting for time to deliver? What happens when you stop looking ahead and simply rest in the now? You begin to live with ease. You move with life instead of against it. The urgency to reach some distant goal fades, and in its place, there is a quiet understanding. Life is not a race. There is no destination. There is only the journey, only the present, only the experience of being alive right here, right now. And in this presence, everything becomes clearer. The future no longer haunts you, and the past no longer chains you. The struggle disappears. You stop pushing, stop forcing, and you begin to flow. You begin to trust the timing of life, knowing that everything unfolds in its own perfect way. The magic of existence is in its unfolding, in its unpredictability, in its constant change. And when you let go of your obsession with time, you begin to see that the present moment is not just enough, it is everything. So let go of the illusion of time. Stop waiting for the right moment. Stop waiting for life to happen. You are already living it. Right here, right now, and in this truth, you find peace, you find freedom, and you find joy, not in some far-off future, but in the infinite present. There is a peculiar thing about life, something we rarely pause to consider. It is not a linear path we must walk, but a dance we must learn to move with. From the moment we are born, we are told that we must forge ahead, that life is a series of steps to be taken, goals to be achieved, milestones to be passed. But what if the very act of forcing ourselves through life's dance, trying to control its rhythm, is what creates our suffering? Think of a dancer moving to the music. At first, she may stumble, her feet may not match the beat, her body may resist the flow, but with time, with patience, with surrender to the music, she begins to flow. She begins to feel the rhythm of the dance, to move with it, to become one with it. The beauty of the dance is not in the perfection of the steps, but in the ability to let go of control and to surrender to the unfolding movement. This is life. We are not here to perfect every move, to align every moment with our expectations, or to force things into place. We are here to surrender to the rhythm of existence, to let the music of life move us, to feel the flow of each moment without resistance. We are the dancers, but we are also the music, the beat, the rhythm itself. When we stop forcing ourselves through life's steps, when we stop trying to control the choreography, something remarkable happens. Life begins to feel effortless. We stop feeling the weight of every decision, every moment. We stop clinging to the illusion that we must have it all figured out. Instead, we begin to trust the dance. We trust that every move, every turn, every change in direction is part of the greater choreography. And here's the most liberating part. We realize that we are not meant to dance alone. Life is not something we do in isolation. It is a cosmic dance, a duet between ourselves and the universe. Every interaction, every encounter, Every twist and turn is part of the shared rhythm. We are not separate from each other. We are all moving together in a great interconnected dance. This understanding brings a deep peace. We stop seeing life as a series of obstacles to be overcome, but as an invitation to dance, to play, to move with the music, and when we do, we become part of something much greater than ourselves. We become part of the eternal rhythm of the universe, a rhythm that has been unfolding long before we arrived and will continue long after we are gone. So, instead of fighting against life, instead of struggling to control the steps, let go, surrender to the music. Trust that the rhythm will guide you, that every misstep is part of the dance, that every change in direction is a necessary turn in the journey. And in that surrender, you will find a freedom you never imagined. Life is not a path to be walked. It is a dance to be embraced. And when you learn to move with it, you will discover that the dance was never about reaching a destination. It was always about the beauty of the movement itself. If you pause for a moment and truly observe the world around you, you will notice something extraordinary. Everything is in constant motion. The wind blows. The rivers flow. The stars move across the sky. Nothing stands still. Life is a dynamic force, always unfolding, always evolving. And yet, how often do we live as if we are static, as if we must control the flow of time, the course of events, the rhythm of our lives? What if, instead of resisting this natural flow, we learn to surrender to it, to move with it, like a leaf floating down a stream? The world teaches us to grasp, to strive, to control. We are conditioned to believe that our success, our happiness, our fulfillment depend on us taking action, making plans, and pushing forward at all costs. But what if the greatest secret of life is not in our actions, but in our ability to trust the flow of the universe? The paradox here is profound. The more we struggle against life's natural rhythms, the more we create resistance. We hold onto our fears, our desires, our anxieties, thinking that in doing so, we will somehow shape life to our will. But in the act of holding on, we are only tightening the grip of tension, making it harder to move freely. It's like trying to swim in a river while holding onto a heavy rock. No matter how hard we struggle, the rock only weighs us down, preventing us from flowing with the current. Now, imagine releasing that rock. Imagine trusting the flow of the river, letting it carry you. Suddenly, the struggle stops. You stop fighting against the current. You stop forcing things to go your way. Instead, you allow the river to guide you, to take you where it will. And in that surrender, you find freedom. This is the essence of trust. Trust is not about knowing the destination, not about controlling the outcome. Trust is about being open to the unfolding of life, knowing that the current of existence is carrying you exactly where you need to go. Even if the path seems uncertain, it is about letting go of the need to know and embracing the unknown with faith, with grace. In the grand scheme, you are not alone in this journey. There are unseen forces at work, forces beyond your understanding, shaping the world, guiding the stars, and moving you through the currents of life. Call it the universe, call it fate, call it destiny. It doesn't matter what name you give it. What matters is recognizing that these forces are not working against you, but for you, they are the hands that hold you when you fall, the wind that pushes you forward when you feel stuck. When you begin to trust these unseen forces, you stop seeing life as a battleground, a place where you must fight for every inch of progress. Instead, you see it as a great unfolding, a process of becoming, where every twist and turn is part of the larger design. You may not understand why things happen the way they do, but you trust that each moment Each experience is leading you towards something greater. And here's the truth: once you stop fighting life, once you surrender to the flow, you begin to see how beautifully everything aligns. Opportunities appear. People come into your life at just the right moment, and the pieces of the puzzle start to fit together in ways you could never have planned. Life starts to feel less like a struggle and more like a dance in which you are not the only one moving. This is the paradox of life. By surrendering control, you gain more freedom. By trusting the process, you step into your true power. And when you stop fighting against the current, you begin to flow with it, effortlessly, naturally, and with a deep sense of peace. You are not a separate entity battling the universe. You are the universe, unfolding in perfect harmony with everything around you. So let go, trust the flow. You don't need to know all the answers. You don't need to plan every step. All you need to do is show up, be present, and trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should. And in that trust, you will find a peace that surpasses all understanding. Life is not something to be controlled, it is something to be experienced. Let it carry you. You will be amazed at where it takes you. What if everything you've been trying to fix, change, or control is not the problem at all? What if the very thing you've been resisting is the key to your freedom? We live in a world that constantly demands us to change our bodies, our circumstances, our thoughts. We are told that to be happy, to be successful, to be loved, we must improve, achieve, and evolve. But what if the true path to liberation lies not in changing everything around us, but in accepting everything as it is? Consider the tree again. It does not wish it were taller. It does not compare itself to the one across the field. It simply grows, fully embracing its form, its place in the world. It accepts the seasons, the rain, the wind without resistance. The tree is not fighting against nature. It is part of it. And in this acceptance, it flourishes. We, on the other hand, are conditioned to resist. We resist the present moment. We resist our bodies, our minds, our feelings. We wish we were different. We wish life were different. But in doing so, we create tension. We try to control what is beyond our control. And in doing so, we create suffering. What if you were to simply stop resisting? What if you could accept yourself exactly as you are, without the constant urge to change, to fix? To prove acceptance does not mean giving up. It does not mean passivity or resignation. It means seeing the truth of the moment as it is, without the need to fight it. It means surrendering to the reality of your life, even when it doesn't look the way you imagined. When you accept, you free yourself from the burden of striving. You stop the internal battle, the constant push to be more, to have more, to do more. And in that freedom, something remarkable happens. You start to experience life not as a problem to be solved, but as an opportunity to be embraced. It's in this acceptance that we discover peace. Not peace because everything is perfect, but peace because we no longer require perfection. We no longer need things to go our way. We realize that life is not something to be fixed, it is something to be lived. And in that living, we find beauty, not in what we achieve, but in the simple act of being. This is the paradox. By accepting what is, you find yourself liberated from the need to change it. You stop chasing happiness, success, or approval, because you realize that you are already whole. You have always been whole. You are not a project to be improved. You are a being to be embraced. So, instead of fighting life, instead of wishing for things to be different, simply accept what is. When you stop resisting, you step into the flow of life. You stop pushing against the current and you begin to glide with it. In that glide, you find that life is not something that needs to be fixed, it is something that needs to be experienced. Fully and completely, when you accept, you don't lose yourself. You find yourself, and in that finding, you experience a liberation like no other. You are not trapped by the need to control, to change, or to prove. You are free to live, to love, to be. And in that freedom, you discover a peace that has always been with you, waiting to be recognized. The final realization, the one that ties together everything we've explored, is this life is not something you need to solve or conquer. It is a dance, an unfolding, a rhythm that flows through all things, including you. And the more we try to control, to force, to manipulate this dance, the less we can actually experience its beauty. Life is not a static thing, a puzzle with pieces we must arrange to find meaning. It is a song that we must learn to listen to, a dance that we must learn to move with. Think back to the beginning of your life, the first time you ever heard music. You didn't analyze it. You didn't try to figure out the notes or the rhythm. You simply felt it. You let the music move through you. And in that movement, you found joy. You found freedom. You found life. This is how life is meant to be lived, not as a series of controlled steps, but as a flowing, organic dance with the universe. We are so used to thinking of life in terms of goals, achievements, and progress. We think that we must strive to reach some distant place, some ideal version of ourselves, some perfect state of existence. But what if that destination is an illusion? What if the truth of life lies not in what we achieve, but in how we move through it, in how we respond to the music of the present moment? The paradox is this: when we stop chasing after a destination, when we stop trying to control the steps, we actually begin to move with greater ease, with greater grace. Life flows more naturally, more effortlessly, because we are no longer resisting its rhythm. We are dancing with it, not against it. And in that dance, we find that we are not separate from the music. We are the music itself. This is the truth that so many miss. You are not a separate entity striving to find your place in the world. You are already part of the dance, already part of the music. The moment you recognize this, you stop fighting to become something. You realize that you already are everything you need to be. The dance isn't about becoming, it's about being. It's about showing up fully in each moment, moving with the rhythm, and trusting that everything you need will come in its own time. This is the ultimate freedom. The freedom to simply be, the freedom to stop struggling, stop striving, and instead live fully in the present moment. The freedom to stop chasing, to stop seeking, and to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The moment you let go of the need to control the steps, the moment you surrender to the dance, you realize something profound. The dance is life, and you are already dancing. And so, in this final realization, we find peace. We find peace not in the achievement of some far-off goal, but in the acceptance of life as it is, in the recognition that life itself is the greatest dance we could ever be part of. There is nothing to achieve, nothing to control, and nothing to fear. There is only the rhythm, only the music, and the joy of being part of it. In this moment, you are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you are meant to be. You are part of the eternal dance of life. And all you need to do is trust the rhythm, trust the flow, and let the music carry you. For when you stop resisting, you begin to truly live. And in that living, you discover a beauty and freedom beyond anything you could have planned or imagined. Life is a dance, and you are already dancing perfectly.